Welcome to the Ipstock Future Talks podcast. I'm here with Philip Watson today, Chairman of HLM Architects, as well as a visiting professor at the University of Leeds. Welcome, Philip.
Nice to be here, Andrew.
Excellent. Could you quickly introduce HLM Architects, please?
Okay, so we're sort of a medium-sized architectural practice, I suppose, in and around the top 20 in terms of size in the UK. So there's about 250 of us. We've got 6 studios, no head office as such. We're in Glasgow, Belfast, Dublin, Cardiff, London, and Sheffield.
So it must be ratting up quite a few miles getting around the bit.
Indeed, yes.
So today we've had you here at our Nostell factory. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, thanks for showing me around. I thought it was hugely impressive. I mean, what you've got planned, the potential that this facility has, I think is quite transformational, because the processes that you're implementing are reducing carbon hugely. They're reducing waste. You know, those things in and of themselves are hugely important, for one. But I think the quality of and range of the products, that's the thing that gets me really excited, is the bespoke aspects that you can create. The range of bespoke products, that you can create is huge. And, you know, the cynic in me just thought, well, yeah, but I'm never going to be able to afford them on the majority of our projects. But, you know, what you've explained to me about automating all of this means the price point comes down and it starts to become affordable. And for me, that is where architects are going to get really excited. Clients are going to get excited because they're going to get better quality product as a consequence. I think this is a real boon for people who are interested in architecture that speaks of place. Yeah.
As always, I'd like to ask, how did you get into the industry?
I suppose, I mean, I'm from the Midlands, and it was a kind of big engineering background, I suppose. My father and his father worked in the automotive industry, as did many of the people around us. And I suppose, whilst I was at school, I liked art. I was good at drawing, and we had, and I'm not sure many schools do this, but I think because of where we were in the Midlands, there was a technical drawing GCSE, and I really loved technical drawing. So I got an A level, believe it or not, in geometric drawing. Even though that exists, I know most people don't. And I don't think even universities probably don't even accept it. So I probably wasted my time, but I loved it. So it was kind of, what could I do with that, really, I suppose.
And off to Sheffield to go and study architecture.
Yes. And I mean, Sheffield was one of the best schools in the UK and still is.
I was going to ask you a question about music. I'll go for it. So previously you had a bit of a career in music. Anything that you can bring forward from that to architecture?
Oh, crikey. Well, yeah, I didn't have a linear path into the job that I've got now, for sure. And I didn't ever think I'd become an architect, frankly, after university, because I was in a band and we got offered a record deal and we went off touring around Europe and radio sessions and all of that record deal. And I thought that was me. I was going to be in the music industry in some guise or other. And I think my experience in the music industry taught me a lot, actually, because I sort of managed the band, led the band. I designed the T-shirts, the covers for the records.
Running a business.
It's running a business, you know. I spoke to promoters. I got us gigs, you know, booked. I fought with people for money, you know, and so that kind of gave me a good grounding, I guess, in terms of being self-employed and managing a very small business.
How do you see where the industry is today, but compared to where the industry was when you joined? What are the changes? What are the things that have happened over that time?
I think the main thing is that power has sort of ebbed away from the architectural profession. and it's gone to contractors. We've seen the advent of, over this period that we're talking, the advent of design and build contracts as the predominant way of procuring buildings now. So from traditional contracts where the architect would assess the builder and pay the builder and administer the contract, and that's kind of, that balance of power has shifted the other way. So that, I think, in a sort of structural sense, that's the biggest change.
And how do you see that as a positive? Because clearly there's benefits in terms of the person who's building the project having a bit more control. I imagine the downside is there's the challenge of cost that comes with that as well. So
Yeah.
benefits, upsides, downsides.
I think benefits certainly to clients, sometimes in terms of cost. And I think, unfortunately, that was the aspect that was really driving that change. Ironically, I think we're starting to see more traditional contracts come back in. And that's largely because clients who have experienced that kind of process before and been disappointed by the outturn want more control. And so they, we're seeing certainly more traditional contracts creeping in.
What do you think that's going to mean for the architecture profession? It's a skill set that may have disappeared, or is it something that's still?
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect. Yes, it is. It is a skill set that may have disappeared to some extent, and that, we are trained and we do go to university to study administering contracts. So, but as an industry, we've sort of lost that a little bit. I think, though, that as more modern methods of construction come in, actually the traditional skills and detailing skills have shifted as well. So I'm not so worried about that aspect.
One of the things we just talked about was obviously skills.
Mm.
How do we get the right people and more people into our industry?
Oh yeah, that's a great one, and what I think one of the key challenges for industry, we're facing a skills shortage across construction. I can't remember the percentages, but a very high percentage of the workforce is over 55, and we need to attract younger people into the industry. And I think that what we need to show to younger people is that construction can be interesting, it can be technically challenging, it can be creative, it can be really rewarding in terms of, you're making something that's writ large, that has an impact on society and the people around us, but, is well paid, and has got good working conditions. And that is a real challenge.
So what do we need to do differently to bring those people in? What should companies like Ibstock, HLM be doing to get the next generation?
If we look at it through HLM's lens, I mean, what we're trying to do is create wider participation in terms of architecture. So we're doing lots of outreach into schools in deprived areas and talking to people, to children and young people, about what a career in architecture even is and what it looks like, because people don't understand that. That resonates with me because I come from a very working class background and I didn't really understand what an architect did, or indeed how one would ever become an architect. So just kind of educating youngsters and showing them that there is a pathway for them, and apprenticeships are a great way of getting people into industry who might be, kind of daunted a little bit by university and by the debt that comes with that. Obviously, when I went to university, I got a full grant. Student debt was not an issue for me. If I was looking down the barrel of that now as a youngster and thinking, I'm going to get 84 grand worth,
Big financial decision.
this is a big financial decision. And perhaps, more kids from more affluent backgrounds, that wouldn't be daunting for them. Their parents would reassure them about that. Mine wouldn't have. They'd just be terrified of that prospect.
We're asking 18-year-olds to make that difficult decision. It's a big question at that age.
It is, yeah.
So one of the things I'm really conscious of is the tail in construction. You are a long way from me in construction. There's architects, then there's construction people, then there's subcontractors, specialist trades, all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
How do we get closer so you can help us innovate? Tell us what you need.
Well, for me, the future is all about collaboration, and our industry is so poor at it. You know, everybody's really protective and thinks they've got loads of IP, and you know they haven't really. And actually, we need to talk to each other more, be more open, share data, and you know, even as we were walking around the factory, I was thinking, what you guys ought to do is employ an architect. And I'm serious. You're unique. I know I'm not touting for work here, but employ an architect because, as you say, you are removed from the kind of the design business end of things. And what if you were creating products that were actually solving solutions? So it might mean just more engagement with architects. You see, and genuinely, and I'll say this on camera if you want, what I'd like to do, because I'm the chairman of the business, I don't design building, I don't get involved, I'll never specify a brick ever again in my career. I just won't pick the pen up. I still design, but it's broad brush stuff, right? I'm doing the felt edges. I'm doing the felt tip pens. What I want to do is go and grab a bunch of guys from Sheffield who are project architects and recently qualified part twos and bring them to the factory and show them the art of what's possible.
Send your logo first, or
Yeah.
yeah. That's exactly what we want to. We want to get people in because collaboration is the only way we'll make this work. It is absolutely imperative to our business that we collaborate with you, we collaborate with our customers, we collaborate with planners, we collaborate with your clients to get them excited about what's possible.
Yeah.
Because what's possible is really exciting now. It's really exciting.
Yeah, agree.
Looking back on your not too long career, but your career,
Yeah.
any favorite projects, any favorite buildings from that time that you've been involved in at any point in time?
Oh, well, they say you're only as good as your last building, don't they? So, I mean, the last one, I can say that I had hands on really was the London Institute for Healthcare Engineering for King's College, which is opposite the Houses of Parliament on the Thames. So, what a sight! And it's just a really nice kind of considered piece of design that fits in with its historic surroundings, but is very contemporary. And great things are happening in the building as well. It's a place where they're innovating for the NHS and doing all sorts of great stuff around imaging that transforming people's lives. So you know, it kind of resonates for me on many levels.
It really is one of the best sites in London as well, isn't it? It's so fortunate. So when you think about what's happening elsewhere in the industry and the exciting things that you've seen, what do you think you can bring in? Where are you seeing exciting new challenges for your organisation and your industry?
Yeah, I think there's an exciting piece around automation, and that you know, almost every project we have to produce a door detail, a window schedule. You know, these really basic things that are components of a building, and we seem to start from scratch with it each time. And for me, if we can borrow from the automotive industry even, but it's sort of almost manufacturing processes and automate those so that actually we can spend time on the things that bring joy. And actually, we're doing a piece of work with Cairn Homes at the moment. They're a big house builder in the Republic of Ireland, and we're creating a digital kit of parts for their entire portfolio. And I'm absolutely convinced we will be creating a platform in which they can assemble drawings, create planning applications, get to construction really, really quickly. Doing all of those kind of repeat jobs automating all of those repeat jobs.
It allows you to focus on the value bit as well.
Absolutely.
And I think that's an exciting opportunity for those people that are coming into the industry to focus on. And there's very few architects that go into architecture as seem to do stage 5 detailing. So to focus on the value elements must be exciting as well.
That's the case, yes, for sure.
Chairman of HLM Architects, 300 architects, lots of people in your business, lots of different offices.
Yeah.
How does leadership work for you in there? How do you work and lead a group of people all over the UK?
Yeah. Well, we've sort of alluded to it. It's about collaborating. It's not about, me as the center leading everything. It's about being open and relying on the board of directors that are around me, our studio directors that run our studios, and not being didactic about things, but being open to fresh ideas, trying to lead with empathy and authenticity, and not thinking that I or the board even have all the answers to everything.
And just on a final note, what most excites you about UK construction today, about architecture, about the industry you've spent your career working in?
Well, for probably 25 years, I've been saying, do you know what? This is the year that, we'll call it off-site construction, modern methods of construction, design for manufacturing assembly. This is the year that actually we break the back of getting manufacturing processes into construction and stop it being, kind of a van turns up in a muddy field and some guys get out and start throwing bits of wood and brick around, that we bring a more cultured, engineered approach to construction. And what I'm seeing more and more of, H&M as a practice, we embraced offsite construction. We've been doing it for 20 odd years. We've started talking about it probably 7 years ago, and how we wanted to put that front and center. So we had a campaign which we called Offsite First, which was to make all of our designers think about their buildings, not just designing them, but designing them to be built using modern methods of construction, so that if the construction of that building went down that route, it didn't have to be redesigned in order to fit the system, So for me, I'm going to say this is the year where we crack that and we get to a position where it's starting to become more of the norm than the exception.
So Philip, really, really appreciate your time. It's been fantastic having you here in our Lostdale factory, showing you around. Really appreciate your feedback, your comments, and the conversation we've had today. So thank you very much, and look forward to catching up again soon.
Thank you, Arthur.